Tuchel targets Chelsea progression ahead of key talks with Boehly. Thomas Tuchel has spent this week impressing on his players the importance of a top-3 finish. It may sound like scant consolation after the heartbreak of Saturday's FA Cup final shootout defeat to Liverpool. But the German is determined to find tangible evidence of progress in his first full season in charge. Among the pre-season targets laid out by Roman Abramovich was closing the gap at the top of the table. And while Tuchel will not be answerable to the Russian this summer, his conversations with new owner, Todd Boehly, will be more comfortable if he can show clear signs of improvement. Not that there is any suggestion the American plans to replace his manager. On the contrary, he has spoken privately of what an amazing talent he considers Tuchel to be. But the German will want every weapon at his disposal when he finally sits down to discuss transfer business with Boehly and lays out the need for a rebuild of Chelsea's squad. Tuchel finished fourth last season, 19 points adrift of Champions City. That was an achievement in itself after taking over a side languishing in ninth place at the end of January. He also won the Champions League within 4 months and reached the FA Cup final. This season he won the European Super Cup, Club World Cup, and reached the finals of the Carabao and FA Cup, losing both on penalties to quadruple chasing Liverpool. But it has been Chelsea's title challenge that has proved so disappointing, falling away during a debilitating mid-season collapse. They are currently 20 points off City, but can cut that to 17 by winning their game in hand against Leicester on Thursday night, as well as securing third. These are fine margins, but for Tuchel, they can go a long way to changing the tone of his message to Boehly, who is still to see Chelsea win in person since launching his bid to buy the club. Todd Boehly is set to have his takeover approved by the Premier League this week. Both Tuchel and other senior figures at Stamford Bridge believe a title challenge was badly hindered by injuries to key players, namely Reece James and Ben Chilwell. There is also a feeling that Chelsea were impacted more than most by COVID. They will start next season on the back foot, given the departures of free agents Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen, while Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso could also go. That leaves Tuchel needing to plug gaps before he even begins to make the improvements he had already identified as being necessary to mount a title challenge. There has been a sense in recent weeks of him preparing Boehly for the significance of this summer, describing it as an impossible job to match Liverpool's depth of quality. Meanwhile, City have already strengthened with the addition of Erling Haaland. Tuchel can point to those 2 cup finals against Liverpool of his own ability to go toe-to-toe with Klopp, but he will need the backing to put together a squad that do it over an entire campaign. I refuse to judge the season by 2 penalty shootouts, he said. If we won penalty shootouts, it would be maybe one of the most successful seasons with 4 titles. Thomas Tuchel plays out the need for a rebuild of Chelsea's squad. Okay, we lost 2 penalty shootouts. That does not make it less impressive what effort the team put in and what success we installed to reach these finals. We are the first to admit it is not the same to play a final as it is to win a final. We are the first ones to admit that we are here to win trophies. We compete on this kind of level not just to compete but to win. It's a bit of an imbalance in judging this season, given the circumstances. Starting from a unique season again, struggled with coronavirus and long-term injuries, then comes a situation that nobody could predict. A war that had a huge effect on our club in particular. So in the end, I think it's always the most important to look in the mirror after a season and find out if you gave everything, if everybody lived to their fullest. We did this. That's why I also told the team after the cup final that I am okay and proud of how we played cup finals and go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the world at the moment, given our situation of how we arrived there and how we played there. That will not change. Tuchel added. There's always room for improvement, we are the first to admit it. We arrived in this cup game with key players already out, players not available, N'Golo, Kanté, and Mateo Kovacic, with one or only half a training session. Taking this into account with the club's sanctions, there are a lot of things that are quite impressive. Hopefully we manage to become third. There is progression in it. We have constantly been in the top 3 in the toughest league. We now compete with maybe the best teams to ever play in this league. Just what level of competition Chelsea can provide next season will be defined by this summer.